Mommy, why are we always waiting for tomorrow? The child's voice was small, but it cut through Eleanor like glass. She knelt down on the cracked sidewalk, smoothing her daughter Lily's blonde curls, trying to smile through the exhaustion that lived in her bones. "Because tomorrow always comes, sweetheart," Eleanor whispered, her voice breaking just slightly. "And when it does, we'll be ready." But she wasn't sure anymore. 3 years since the accident took her husband. 3 years of working double shifts at the diner, of choosing between rent and groceries, of watching her daughter grow up in waiting rooms and cramped apartments. At 29, Eleanor felt ancient. That same evening, across town, 34-year-old Daniel Ashford sat in his silent study, surrounded by leather-bound books and the ghost of a life he'd built with someone he couldn't save. His wife, Catherine, had died 18 months ago. Cancer, swift and merciless. The business empire he'd inherited felt meaningless now. Success was just noise without her laughter to share it with. He was packing her things when he found it. A worn copy of Jane Eyre, Catherine's favorite, with a letter tucked between the final pages. His hands trembled as he unfolded the paper, recognizing her handwriting immediately. "My dearest Daniel, if you're reading this, I'm already gone. I'm sorry I didn't tell you before. I was afraid and perhaps selfish. 5 years ago, when I was volunteering at St. Mary's Hospital, I met a young woman named Eleanor Hayes. She'd just lost her husband, and she was alone, pregnant, terrified. I gave her money for the hospital bills, but I gave her something more important. I gave her hope. I told her kindness wasn't alone. It was a promise we make to the world. Find her, Daniel, not to be thanked, but to remember what I've forgotten to tell you enough. Love isn't just what we feel. It's what we do when no one's watching. Her address is on the back. With all my heart, Catherine." Daniel sat motionless, tears streaming down his face. Catherine had always been the light in his world, and even in death, she was showing him the way forward. 2 weeks later, Eleanor was wiping down tables at Giovanni's diner when a man in an expensive coat walked in. He looked out of place, tailored suit, careful eyes, the kind of person who didn't belong in her world. He sat at the counter, ordered coffee, and watched her work with an intensity that made her uncomfortable. "Can I help you with something?" she asked carefully, refilling his cup. Daniel cleared his throat. "Eleanor Hayes?" She froze. "Who's asking?" "My name is Daniel Ashford. My wife, Catherine, she knew you, years ago, at St. Mary's Hospital." Eleanor's eyes widened, memory flooding back. "Catherine," she breathed. She saved my life. I never got to thank her properly. I tried to find her, but she passed away," Daniel said softly, 18 months ago. Eleanor's hand flew to her mouth. "I'm so sorry." They talked for hours that first night. Daniel learned about Lily, about Eleanor's struggles, about the crushing weight of survival. Eleanor learned about Catherine's illness, about Daniel's loneliness, about the letter that had brought him here. Neither of them planned what happened next. It simply unfolded, slowly, like spring after a long winter. Daniel started visiting the diner regularly. He'd bring books for Lily, who was bright and curious despite their circumstances. He'd stay late, helping Eleanor study for the nursing degree she'd abandoned years ago. He never offered money directly. Catherine's letter had taught him that kindness wasn't about transactions. Instead, he offered presence, time, understanding. Months passed. Eleanor's walls came down, brick by brick. She saw beyond the wealthy CEO to the grieving man beneath, someone who understood loss intimately. Daniel saw beyond the struggling waitress to the resilient woman who turned pain into purpose every single day. One autumn evening, as they walked Lily home from the park, the little girl, now 4 years old, suddenly turned to Daniel. "Mr. Daniel, do you think my daddy can see us from heaven?" Daniel knelt down, eye level with her. I think so, Lily, and I think he's very proud of your mom. Lily considered this seriously. Do you think your wife can see us too? Yes, Daniel whispered, his voice thick with emotion. I think she can, and I think she's smiling. Eleanor's hand found his shoulder, squeezing gently. In that moment, something shifted. Not romance born from desperation, but connection born from mutual healing. By winter, Daniel had helped Eleanor re-enroll in nursing school. She insisted on paying him back somehow, so he offered her a job managing his foundation's charitable programs. You understand what people need, he told her, because you've lived it. Their relationship grew naturally, built on respect and shared grief, and the quiet understanding that sometimes the people who save us are the ones we save in return. 1 year after that first meeting, Daniel took Eleanor and Lily to Catherine's grave. He placed flowers gently on the headstone. I found her, Catherine, he whispered, and you were right. She didn't just remind me what kindness looks like. She reminded me why it matters. Eleanor touched the cold marble, tears streaming. Thank you, she breathed, for seeing me when I was invisible, for giving me hope when I had nothing left. Lily placed a small drawing on the grave, a picture of 4 people holding hands, her daddy, Catherine, her mommy, and Daniel. That evening, sitting on Daniel's porch as Lily slept inside, Eleanor finally asked the question that had haunted her. Why did you keep coming back after that first day? Daniel was quiet for a long moment. Because Catherine's letter reminded me that we're not here to build empires or collect achievements. We're here to see each other, really see each other. And when I looked at you, I saw someone who refused to let the world break her. That kind of strength, it's rare. It's beautiful. Eleanor leaned against him, and he wrapped his arm around her shoulders. They sat in comfortable silence, 2 broken people who'd found in each other the pieces they didn't know they were missing. Mommy? Lily's sleepy voice came from the doorway. Are we still waiting for tomorrow? Eleanor smiled through her tears, looking at Daniel, then back at her daughter. No, sweetheart, tomorrow finally came. And in that moment, under a sky full of stars, 3 hearts found what they'd been searching for all along. Not rescue, not salvation, but simple, profound belonging. The kind that reminds us we're never truly alone, even in our darkest moments. The kind that Catherine knew all along was the greatest gift she could leave behind. Because kindness, real kindness, doesn't end with us. It echoes forward, touching lives we'll never meet, healing wounds we'll never see, and reminding us that hope, true hope, is always worth holding on to. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, subscribe, and comment.